Postcolonial representations. Women, literature, identity, enthusiastically engages with and praises the concept of hybridity in the literary works of postcolonial women writers. The celebratory analyses of women's texts unveil profound depth and complexity, shedding light on authors who historically received minimal critical attention. While this contribution is significant to the field, it may not wield the same influence as its predecessor. This is partly attributed to the evolving landscape of the field itself, with postcolonial feminist studies expanding as a distinct area of inquiry. Lionnet's work, once considered unusually theoretical, no longer stands out in the same way. Furthermore, the book's status as a collection of previously published essays, lacking regional, cultural, or thematic unity, contributes to its diminished impact. This incoherence could be interpreted productively as Lionnet's deliberate refusal to establish a canon of marginalized women writers. The book comprises an introduction outlining the author's problematic, followed by 8 essays mostly exploring woman-authored narratives from various nations worldwide. In the chapter titled Of Mangoes and Maroons, Lionnet focuses on Michelle Cliff-Sabeng, labeling Cliff an autoethnographer, dedicated to the recreation of a collective identity, rather than the private self. Lionnet challenges previous interpretations of Cliff as inauthentically Jamaican, emphasizing the novelist's exploration of maternal filiation. This realignment connects Cliff genealogically with figures like Audre Lorde and Zora Neale Hurston, distancing her from male writers who favor exile as an escape from neo-colonial confinement. The subsequent chapter, Evading the Subject, delves into the works of the lesser-known Indo-Mauritian writer Ananda Devi, complicating stereotypes about African writing. The following chapters, A New Antillean Humanism and Inscriptions of Exile, could be interpreted as examples of the double gesture prevalent in much Francophone Caribbean women's writing: exile and return. A New Antillean Humanism focuses on Mary C. Cond's reimagining of the Caribbean, and its need for a complex politics, drawing on Edouard Glissant's notion of la relation. The chapter Exile briefly discusses alienation in works by Miriam Warner Vieira and Suzanne Dracius Pinelli, tracing ambivalent representations of the black and female body as historical commodity and uncertain contemporary agent on journeys from the Caribbean to Europe and Africa in the quest for selfhood. The exploration of Warner Vieira's Julitaine is revisited at greater length in the context of a broader examination that includes a short story from Femmes Etuis. These works are juxtaposed with Dikiledi, a story from Bessie Head's A Collector of Treasures, and Gail Jones' Eva's Man, in what stands out as the most robust essay in the collection. Despite its central thematic focus on the decidedly uncelebratory topic of female murderers, Geographies of Pain maintains a remarkably unsentimental approach to the victimization of the women depicted. Lionnet proposes a symptomatic reading of these characters, using the crimes they commit as a metaphor for society's crime against the female individual. 106. By challenging the traditional portrayal of women as gentle nurturers, she foregrounds the constructed nature of her project. The relationship among the 3 black women writers is not only based on their shared Africanness, but on a performative intertextuality. 108. Lionnet suggests that these works demonstrate a pattern of influence and cross-fertilization, utilizing themes and addressing negative mythic images of women in subversive ways. One of Lionet's boldest and most ambitious intellectual and political endeavors in postcolonial representations is her engagement with the highly charged topic of female excision. Negotiating between Eurocentric chauvinism and cultural relativism, she reads both the historical practice and its literary representation through a feminist lens. She situates this phenomenon discursively, highlighting its significance to gender formation, rights of adulthood, and various power relations affecting the body. The first of the two chapters, Dissymmetry Embodied, delves into the topic and proceeds to conduct a close reading of Noel El-Sadawi's Woman at Point Zero. While Lionnet compiles an impressive bibliography of anti-excision writings by African women, she appears to concede too quickly to the authenticity charge, the notion that westernized women are too removed from traditional indigenous groups to be politically helpful. In The Limits of Universalism, the sole non-literary chapter, Lionnet revisits similar issues of gender, power, and cultural difference, but through the lens of a court case involving an immigrant Malian family victimized by the French legal system.